Hey everyone, Trina here, back with another art video. Today we're going to be working on some mixed media sketches. Here I am using some yellow ochre, printing on tissue paper with my jelly plate. And we're just going to take a couple of pulls here with some of this green color and the golden transparent colors. And I'm going to be using these as collage for these pieces that I'm going to make. I just kind of wanted to add some more color to the pieces. So here I've divided an 11 by 15 sheet of watercolor paper onto and taped it off. So we're going in with pencil, as I normally do to start. Just getting loosened up, relaxed, ready to make work, loosening my brain, and scribbling because I like to scribble. So here I'm going in with that same sap green from golden, and I'm just going to start making some marks here on the paper. Not really with anything in mind. These will be landscapes, but I'm kind of just throwing down paint and seeing what happens. I want these to be random marks. There's no plan. Just really going with what I feel like making. This is why we practice our mark making, so that when we begin work, we can access that library of thought and start making marks. So now I'm going to go in with the sepia ink from Dowler and Roney. I want these lines to be pretty thin and a different weight, so that's why I'm using kind of this, the acrylic ink allows for me to use that. I will say that since I did a month of Inktober, I've really grown to love playing with acrylic ink. Before it was a little bit intimidating, but after painting with it for 30 days, I kind of feel like I know how it works and how to make it work for me and my work. So those projects are always really fun to do. So we're just going in with this sepia still, making marks kind of transparently. I like how it's blending with the green. I think that's really nice. Now I'm going back in with my favorite color, Payne's Gray. This is a heavy body paint, so it's less transparent, but I've watered it down a little bit in some sections. So I love this color. I love what it does to pieces. It's my go-to color in almost every piece that I make. And I'm just continuing to make marks, not really worrying about what the finished pieces are going to look like, just sort of seeing where there needs to be more paint, less paint. And now I'm collaging on some pieces of old jelly prints that I made, just to get some texture and some different colors. Going in with the Nico Azo Gold from Golden and adding in some really pops of color. I love that paint. Here I am cutting up some collage papers that we made from the jelly print and adding those in. And now we're going to slow it down a little bit, going back in with the golden magenta in the transparent color. This is one of the fluid acrylics that they have from Golden, and it's just amazing. It comes in the same set with the Nico Azo Gold, and I've had that set for a long time. It lasts forever. They are small bottles, but they last. You don't need a lot. They go, a little goes a long way, and they last forever. I like these little pops of magenta. You can see how on some of the pieces, it really just overlays and makes a cool transparent color over that Nico Azo. And it also is making those greens and blues pop just a little bit more and giving you a little depth within the piece. Don't be scared of acrylic paint or acrylic ink. Just dive in, use a little bit at a time, and I promise you, you'll get bolder as you go. It's a really fun product to use, and I highly recommend it. So now I'm going in with a little bit of Payne's Gray mixed with white, titanium white, just to kind of take some of the, on these, especially these two bottom pieces. I felt like they were a little heavy They needed some lightness in them. I'm going to add them to all the pieces, but really those bottom left two were the ones that I was really concerned about as far as not as being too heavy. I just wanted to put some light up there and take down that green just a little bit. And using a flat brush, I can make some of my favorite square shapes and my square marks. And now I'm going back in. I'm going to use my palette knife to scrape away and make some marks within that because the shape was feeling a bit flat to me. And it was really just looking like it looked like I just painted it on. I want texture. I want you to see the layers below. And sometimes that's the most important part of making abstract work, is being able to take away things rather than just add. It's an important thing to remember, is that you can always cover things up if you don't like them. So that gives you the ability to paint freely and put down marks and be adventurous in your work. So I'm going back in with some white paint. Again, making some pretty bold marks. I wanted your eye to come forward into these white spaces, and I wanted to add some flow to the work. I don't usually, sometimes I add gesso, but I don't usually add just white paint. But today I was feeling like these pieces really needed some spaces to let your eye rest, where you weren't focusing on everything. So you could go around the pieces. The white gives you a landing spot that's easy to rest your eyes and rest when you're looking at the piece. So now I felt it was time to rip these up into 6 shapes, and I'm going to go back in with some ink tints and add some dark marks because I need some contrast. You guys know I like contrast. The ink tints blocks is what I'm using here, and I use a combination of those and the ink tints pencil. I'm using black and this forest green color to really make some bolder marks, because I feel like in the beginning I probably should have used some more dark colors, and when I do the end of one of these, I'll probably be a bit more bold with the colors in the beginning and have those pretty much in the back. But I don't mind them being on top either. I think adding in black and green is really going to make these pieces more cohesive and come together a little bit more. I like adding in lines and shape to just kind of marry all of this work together. And this is the next piece. Part of the fun of tearing them apart is being able to flip them around and figure out which way that you like them. So I do that quite often when I'm working. Again, just adding dark and trying to figure out where the best place for the dark is. I really like that dark mark next to that orange color there. It really makes it pop, that orange next to the white and the black. This is one of my favorite ones. I really like the way the orange and the pink are in this one. I like the shapes that I made. It doesn't need a whole lot on this one. And sometimes they don't need a whole lot. Sometimes they just need a little pop. I wish I would have moved that up a little better so you could see. But I do really like this one. This is definitely a keeper. This one was not one of my favorites when I started, but it kind of grew on me after I added in the black. I really like those vertical shapes. I think it's a little bit less landscapey and just more abstract, but I don't mind that. I think it looks very simple, and that was the easy one to work on. This one was also not a favorite. And, you know, this is the thing about making these, is that sometimes, you know, everything you make is not great. Sometimes you get one good one. But I think I've got a few here that I like. So you can tell that I didn't like it because I spent less time on it. It's like, oh, I'm good. I'm done. This one I'm sort of indifferent about. I didn't know what I wanted out of this one, but I think when I added the black in that I really enjoyed it a lot more. So now to finish up, I'm back with the Caran d'Ache in a light yellow color. It's sort of this, I don't know, it's like a Naples yellow, but it's really light. I did start adding some pink on this one, but then I decided I didn't want that on all of them. I thought it was too distracting. So we're just going to add in pops of this little yellow Naples color. I think it adds something. The color is already kind of in the piece, and so it only needed just a little bit of the color here and there to really make those shapes pop. And you can add some water to it there, you saw I did, to make it a little more painterly. But I like these bold yellow marks. It's a good way to add, again, more layers and more places where you can move through the painting and search for things, find things in the painting that maybe you didn't see in the beginning. And I like working with, you know, I love these Caran d'Ache colors. I really do love them. So as we finish up these pieces, I was watching a woman this morning, a fellow YouTuber, Maribeth Quinn Art, and I'll leave a link to her YouTube page below. But I really was liking what she was saying about being bold and making marks, and how when you do pieces like this, that it's important to stay free and flow and not get hung up on the fact that you might need to sell them, or if they're a landscape, or if they're just abstract or whatever. And she made some really good points, so be sure to check her out. Here I kind of just wanted to show you what these look like with a little bit of matte around them. Unfortunately, I didn't measure when I taped these off. I kind of did it in a fairly random way. So they're all not the same size, but that's okay. So you can just kind of see what they look like with the matte. And I think doing this with your pieces really changes how you see them in a way that you can isolate the colors and really see what you've made. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for more coming in the next few weeks. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and comment if you have any comments or questions. I'm always here to help, and I appreciate all of you that have been watching lately. It's been really fun to see your comments on the page and your feedback. I'm new to this. I mean, I've been making a lot of videos, but I'm trying to get better at making them more accessible and more tutorial oriented than just me sitting here talking about my work. So I hope you enjoy the video, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks so much. Bye.